Katya here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're stopping by, welcome. And if you're coming back for me, I really appreciate you. Today, I'm going to be planning for the second week of October. I will be bringing in some distress crayons, some distress inks, and some stickers, Halloween kind of stickers, some stamps possibly, and a stencil. We'll have some fun with some inks, and so if this is something you would be interested to watch, please stick around. So first of all, a big thank you and a big shout out to everyone who DM'd me and showered all the love with my last post. Last post in the sense, my last video. And if you haven't checked that out, it was again with distress inks and distress oxide. And I was blown away by the warm welcome it got, because it was just some spookiness I brought into my monthly layout. If you haven't checked it out, please do. I'll put the picture up here. And yeah, for today, I thought I will use those, but I will also incorporate some distress crayons. So this is again a fun product. I haven't really used much, and now that I'm starting to use it, I think I really love this. It's so versatile and so easy to use. And these ones I'm hoping to bring in some Halloween costumes, because I'm hosting the collab, the planner collab. It's hashtag International HP Collab. And for this month, October, we have costume party. So I thought I will do something with that. And I also want to play around with some inks and crayons. So that's a lot of talking. So let's get started. So what I have in mind is I will have to do it in two parts, because these guys I'm going to work with, this will need a few minutes to dry. So I will do the ink portion first and then let it dry, come back to it to finish, since October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So what I thought was I will go with some Pinktober breast cancer awareness theme, and I will bring in some of the costumes. And I will also participate in another planner collab, which is international planner collab, which again a few of my friends are hosting. I will link all of them below. Theme is magical adventure. So going out trick-or-treating with their costumes and everything is an adventure on its own, and it's pretty magical. You can be anything you want to be. So I'm going to be doing for both of those. And I'm not sure if there is a Pinktober theme going on. I will check and I will link that as well, if that is the case. I want to do something in pink. So that's where we are. And yeah, let's get started. So what I thought was I will have like an area here highlighting the Pinktober thing. And I already have letters from Heidi Swap, Stamp Society letters. I do not want it to be too big. Distress crayons, it opens like this. It twists like a lipstick. So what you do is you put it down like this. You can go easy, you can go heavy-handed. So I'm not covering it. Like, you can see that I'm being very light-handed on that, because I don't want to take up a lot of space, but you will see what I mean. I'm just going, it's not very heavy-handed, it's not too light-handed either. And if you need more, you can just twist it and it comes out. So I'm just using it like this, and I can just leave it like this. Creamy texture, so it wouldn't have any problem. you can, I like to, because I like to leave the tops back to where it belongs. It is going right back. And I forgot to mention, this is the kitsch flamingo. I believe that's how I say that. So that's a kitsch flamingo. And now what you do is you could come in with your, it's, as you can see, it blends very, very smoothly. And you hold it like this and it blends pretty well. So it dries quickly, so you have to be quick. And you come in and you just use your fingers to kind of swoosh it around. Very technical term, I must say. You just fiddle with it, you mess it, not mess it, you play around with it. Just use your fingers to kind of make it you just, if you do not want sharp edges like this. So if you notice that it is getting dry, because I have my air conditioner and the fan and everything running, you may notice it's not, um, I'm not able to move it around much. So what you do is you just come, have a thin layer on top. And so what that does is it'll give you some more, you're buying time and you're working a bit with the saturation as well. So as you can see, it is moving around more now. So I'm just going to play around with that, have some fun. And yeah, I don't want the sharp surfaces to actually, it doesn't it doesn't appeal to me when things are really very sharp and entirely symmetrical with these. So what I'm doing is I'm just coming in with these. Just remember, you have to be a bit quick here. And that is just the background I'm giving. And to clean your fingers, it's very easy. What you do is, this is a baby wipe I showed you earlier. You just come, you just clean it out. Comes right off. As simple as that. This was part of a pack of stencils I bought on Amazon. I'll show you cool effect. What I'm doing here is I'm just coming in. I'll just use the bottom part because I do not want the A007, that's some pattern number they had on there. So I do not want that on here. So I'm just coming in here like this, putting it flat against the surface. And I'm just coming and taking the baby wipe and removing some of that ink with the stencil. That's practically what I'm doing, because I just put on the ink and now I'm coming in with the baby wipe. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to come completely off or anything. What I'm doing is I'm just coming in and taking some of this ink out. So I'm just doing all the way to the end, just like so. Just continue, just enough pressure to take the ink off. Don't squeeze all the water from the baby wipe onto the page. So what you could do is just keep, no, not just keep swimming. I'm sorry. Just gently, you're actually using the baby wipe to take off the ink in those parts which the stencil falls on. So the magic reveal time. Ooh. So see what I mean? Just a simple trick, and it is so fun. You can play around with that. And now what you have is this cool pattern which works as a background. So this is, it doesn't even bleed through that much. This is my last week, and it doesn't, no ghosting or anything. Simple, straightforward, not straightforward, but it was fun, right? You're gonna play around and be a kid again. So how simple was that? Did you like this technique? This was a cool trick I just discovered, and then I tested it out. And then what we are doing now is I'm coming in with stamps now. I have the pinked over already on the stamping block. I'm going to come in, since it's going to be more Halloween stuff, as in since it's going to be more the Halloween vibes we'll have. Let's see. So this is the other color. This is the sample paper I tested this on. I was testing out the crayons a bit, and then I tested these stamps because I wanted to see whether this would be good with orange or black. But since it's October, I think we should go ahead with orange. I'm going to use this distress ink in Crackling Campfire. So again, another technique I like to use is this is just the wipe that I use to clean my hand on. I'm just keeping the pink side separate. I'm just I just folded this a couple of times. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dab these set of stamps, and what this does is some water gets on those alphabets. I'm just continuing to ink these alphabets very generously, and see, I'm being very generous. I'm just tapping, tap, 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 tap. And down it goes. And what I'm doing now is I'm just coming in, just lining it up like so, and press hard. So what happens is you have some watercolor effect to it. I'll show you that up close. Can you see those water droplets still on there? So that is the effect you get. I'm just switching over to the voiceover, and now so that's done with the distress inks. I'm just cleaning the stamps right away because I like my stuff cleaner. So now going to the other side, we are using the same technique on some parts. I'm showing you exactly where I'll be doing it, and bringing in the crayon again, just having like a rough area or a patch where we could have the color brought in. So just rough, and a couple of areas I'm trying to do, and again just closing the lid and then going back to activating that before the distress crayon gets dry. And I think I should have stuck to one portion of the page, because once I started working on the bottom part, the top part started getting dry, because I had my air conditioner and the fan and all of that running, so it does tend to get dry. So just the trick to working with the crayons is, if at all you notice that it is drying out on you, just reapply another layer on top, and that will help activate the crayons, so you can work with that. You're buying more time that way.
So that's that, and those two sections are, I think, good to go. And I think I'll have another section there. So just bringing that scrap piece of paper, since it's the edge of the page, so just a long thin part there, again working very quickly, otherwise it will dry. And since it's the edge of the page, you can peacefully work it around if you have a scrap piece of paper underneath, so that you don't have to worry about ruining the table. And wipe your fingers and you're done. Coming in with the stencil, same technique, use the pattern to pull up the ink from the portions that it touches. So it is a nice technique you could apply to even to small portions of any project rather, and you can really play around with it. You can have different patterns, different stencils to give you totally different looks, and it will look very cool, especially for these backgrounds. So I would call this a background because on the left side I did some stamping over the top of this. So that was the inking portion of it, and I will let it dry for a few minutes, and I'm back. So it took a few hours in between, but for you wouldn't notice the difference. And you can see that water effect more clearly now. And now moving to the stickering part of the spread. So I'm trying to see which ones to pick, because I want those orange flowers, because it's still not fully darker tones of fall yet. The Halloween vibes has the cutest costumes you can see, and especially with the pets in those costumes, it's super adorable. And I may bring in some from seasonal vibes, but yeah, bringing some functional boxes, because that just brings a pop of color with those pastel boxes. It's slightly more subtle since it's a pastel color, but I want to include functional boxes as well along with this. So I'm just going to outline the circle, and then going back with more florals. I used a click art pen to have the borders around the pastel boxes, so that there is some more definition and the box just pops. So just working with the scraps and bringing in another guy, and that guy needs a washi at the bottom to sit on. So there we go. And just a tiny touch, and more boxes coming and more functional. Those would be for my priorities. And yes, so a couple of more pastel boxes, and again we'll go ahead and top it with a black box so that everything just pops, and there is one more space for functional things. And also we will bring in a couple of costumed guys on the other side, and replacing the headers for the sections, and just outlining the circles, and just a tiny bit, and maybe one costumed guy at the top, because without compromising a lot on the space. So going to the happy seasons again. I had seen a picture with some flowers in there, so there we go. So that's the one, and we just come in with the washi at the bottom, and the flower at the top, the picture using the scrap at the bottom there, just near the Halloween costume guys, and some more cute adorable guys there. And moving to the right side of the page, a pre-made cluster with maybe another. I'm just trying to bring in some more color there, because the other side had some green leaves in between the flowers. So I just want to bring in some green pops of color. I will arrive at the decision of bringing in a green later, but so of now I was trying to see if I should bring in orange or yellow, orange or pink or anything. So then I decided to go with green, just for that pop of color. And bringing in the next black circle, and yeah, just that guy, he looks cute. He looks like a lion, and he's in fact a dog with a lion look to him. And there's just some candles and pumpkins to go alongside.
So for the quotes, I printed these are 2 sticker sheets. This is from Robin at Crafty Planner Queen, and this is from Darbi, Planet Darbi. So I will just have this butterfly here. And both of these sheets, both Robin and Darbi had made this. I'm sure you know the D Planner Babe, I think is her handle. And she was recently diagnosed with breast cancer. So both of these ladies were the sticker sheet to show their support, and so am I. So if you are using any of these sheets, please tag D as well. Yeah, it's always nice to have a supportive community behind you, especially when you're battling something. I want to bring in some more florals here at the top. So I'm just going to line it across the top. Going back to the happy seasons, and I like this cluster, which is nice and long. So and yeah, so that it'll have some space to sit on. Earlier, the Planything stickers used to be all nice and shiny and glossy, but nowadays in the sense it's been a couple of years that she redid the whole thing, and now it is all matte, so it has a nice, a clean look. So I'm just bringing in a box here so that the space becomes usable. I'm coming back to this fern. So what I'm doing is I'm just cleaning. I had some ink on it, so I'm just coming in with, this is just a plain old baby wipe. I'm just going to come in and dab the fern, and then going straight there, inking it really well. And I'm just going to bring some scrap paper towards the bottom. I'm zooming in really well, so if you can see through the block, stamping block, this is I'm just coming in like so. So what happens when you lift it off, you see a tiny bit of that, not too much. And I also need another head coming from this side, so I'll just go back to the ink pad, and I want that here. So I'm just angling it different, and you can see through the block and press. So now you have 2 little ferns coming from there, And why don't we do it next to this orange, or maybe coming out from under there. So you have to be careful how much area you cover. So the tip for that is, again, inking that. You line it across here. You line it across right along that box. And what you do is, just making sure I'm lining it up properly, or else it'll be a slight mess. And again, if you have the ink on the side of the ink pad, it's a good idea to clean it up before you go in with the project, because otherwise it could get on the paper on unintentional areas. So yeah, so there we have that. So just at this corner, so now when you lift it, it looks like this. I was about to put the washi tape down, but then I remembered I need to bring in the October here, that watercolor effect. So it will be a minor effect. It will be noticeable, but not it will not be too obvious. So I'm just coming in and I'm just putting October right there. So that's October in pink. Right across from there. Let me just get my washi cutter, because I just don't want this to actually be seen. So why don't we just remove the washi from under there? Yeah, so that is that. So now I'm coming in with a coat on this side, just enough space to actually uh, use that we have in between all of those days. Now coming in with the dates. The dates were from Heidi Swap. Just hold that straight. That's 9. That's a bit too much, I guess. Just with the stamping, there is um, a decent amount of the correct amount of pressure. I mean, a correct amount of pressure you need to add to apply when you apply stamps. And I still haven't gotten the hang of it, so I usually feel, yeah, so that was better because I didn't put as much pressure. Let's go over the rest of the dates. Cleaning the stamps, just wipe it dry and then take it off the block onto the pack and just leave it like this for some time before you put it into your sleeve. I think I'm done. So yeah, so we also have to learn to embrace our imperfections. So there we have our catch-all spread for the week of 9th through the 15th. So let's do a recap. So we used Halloween vibes and happy seasons from Planything. The happy seasons, I believe, I'm not sure if it is still available. So I will just link it. And I also brought in the functional elements from pastel boxes and functional boxes. So all of these are Planything. I will link everything, and you can use my code Priya10 to get 10% off your purchase. And we also brought in Distress ink in crackling campfire and picked raspberry distress oxide, and also the distress crayon in kitsch flamingo. The stencil, this was from Amazon. We swap stamps in alphabets and numbers. October from Coco Daisy. And And I think that's a wrap. And thank you for watching. And please stay tuned for a series on using distress inks and distress oxides and crayons and all the fun stuff. And please drop me your questions if you have anything that you have related to these topics, and I will try and answer them to the best of my knowledge. Again, I'm not an expert. I keep saying that. I'm just sharing what I've learned along the way. So please drop me your comments. Did you like what I did here? Do you like to combine media? So thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.